Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here with my comic reviews for the week. Alright, let's get our Marvel titles started off with Web of Spider-Man number 3. Okay, Web of Spider-Man isn't really about Spider-Man Peter Parker. It's really, the title Web refers to all the different aspects. I mean, it's 3 stories pretty much. There's a villain's origin, Spectacular Spider-Girl, which is Peter Parker's daughter from an alternate universe, and a little supporting character story such as Aunt May and J. Jonah Jameson Sr. Okay, these two I did not read because not that interesting and didn't really read it before, so don't really care about reading it now. Okay, Rhino, it's just pretty much a summary of Rhino's origin, about how he made a deal with some scientists to give him his bulletproof hide, and then he attacked a rebel base for them. And then it turns out he attacked the wrong base. And then he attacks them, and pretty much that's his origin. Just short, simple. If you like Spider-Girl, I'd recommend picking this up. If you like the Spectacular Spider-Girl Mayday Parker, then I'd recommend picking this title up. If you want to know about the villain origins, then pick it up. Because otherwise, it's a waste of time. Right? Okay, next up we have Amazing Spider-Man number 614. The conclusion to the Electro story arc. Where, alright, first of all, Electro has now decided to attack, has asked the citizens of New York to turn on all their electronic devices to give him more power so he can go and attack the DB. And pretty much now Electro's done your classic supervillain, seal all the exits. Spider-Man shows up, says to Mayor Jameson that he has an idea to save everyone, but he needs the help of the anti-Spidey squad. So Electro's going angry, saying he's going to kill Dexter Bennett. Starts to absorb more electricity. Then Spidey busts in. He starts fighting him, and while at the same time, he's pretty much fighting Electro, and Jameson goes in, yells to Bennett, and then they start fighting, but then eventually the ceiling crumbles down, the building's damaged, so it falls down on, and nearly kills Dexter Bennett. I'm not sure if he's alive or not, but then Spidey and Jameson decide to get out quickly as soon as they can, and the Daily Bugle building has fallen down. And then at the wreckage, Peter meets Betty Brant, and they start talking about how Betty spent most of her adult career working there, and she asks if Peter ever wanted to think how different his life could have been if he went to somewhere else instead of the Bugle. And Peter says he couldn't think about it without it. Then Peter starts to think about if a C villain like Electro can become a heavyweight, then so could everyone else. And he starts thinking about all the other villains that are going to be involved in this Gauntlet story arc. Then Electro's being taken to prison, where it's revealed the guard is Chameleon, and he's offered a position by Craven's daughter. Now then. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man 614. I was pretty bored with the Electro stories so far, but the main thing that got me hooked on, the only major thing that I would recommend about this book is the destruction of the end of the Bugle for good. I mean, Jameson's working as mayor now, and Peter's working for Jameson's press secretary, and I think doing some work for Frontline. So, yeah. I am, however, glad that the Gauntlet is bringing back some of the old school villains instead of introducing all the new ones from Brand New Day. I'm glad that the villains are back. So, that's pretty much it for Marvel for this week. Next up, start off DC Action Comics 884. Alright, first of all, what happens here is they're trying at Star Labs. Dr. Light and Flame and Thera are getting Chris trying to help Chris find a cure for his rapid aging, and while in disguise, while in a bit of dramatic irony, we know the doctor doing is Jax-Ur. And he's saying he needs to get a DNA sample from Chris, so he's using a red sun laser, and it's starting to anger Thera, which is starting to let out the flame bird. Meanwhile, Lois is trying to run her story to prove Supergirl, Nightwing, and Flamebird's innocence, but the problem is Lois's father, General Lane, accusing her of treason and stuff. Lois tries to get out, but then she gets tasered, falls, faints. Then still look for a cure for Chris, but as Jax-Ur keeps going on with the laser, Thera goes Flamebird, and she shoots fire at him, but it's revealed he's Kryptonian. So now they have to make a deal so now he makes a deal with her in order to save her and takes out some weird gun. Then Lois's father interrogates her, shoots her laptop, and says that he loves her, but his planet comes first. Then Lois goes to talk to Perry about it, and he says that someone has to tell the truth about Sam Lane, and that person is you, but he can't run the story, otherwise the Daily Planet would die, so Lois quits. And then they decide to amplify Chris's solar energy cells by using Dr. Light's powers. Then he gets supercharged back to his youthful form, and Jax-Ur says that as long as that device should keep his cells infused with enough energy to prevent bursts of aging. And then a brief overview at Jax-Ur's Palm Pilot says that there's a DNA sample was obtained, so that is not good because he's trying to. All right, well, okay. So far, action. Oh yeah, got Captain Atom co-feature. Captain Atom meets up with Mon-El. Mon-El discusses the General Lane, what's going on. Then he gets the JLA satellite, and Captain Atom says he's remembering some things, but not everything. But then the Justice League shows up and says that they know everything that he needs, and that he's a fugitive from the U.S. military. And Atom says he's in dire need for justice. Okay. Okay. Action Comics. Okay, this issue, well, it kind of deals with something that probably would have happened. Eventually was Lois trying to reveal the truth about Nightwing and Flamebird and having to confront her father. That was something that was probably expected soon, and yeah. As far as the Captain Atom thing is concerned, I'm kind of in and out about it, though, not really caring. I'm more concerned with the whole new Krypton thing. And also, good to know that Chris's rapid aging is under control. But I'm also glad that Nightwing and Flamebird are finally taking on one of the Kryptonian sleeper agents, who is one of the famous Kryptonian villains, Jax-Ur. Alright? Okay, this concludes part 1. Stay tuned for part 2.